Hey everyone, Taylor here. Lindsay is on her way to LA, so I thought that I would do the gear video that she promised everybody. I got my wisdom teeth out a couple of days ago, so I kind of look a little bit like a Family Guy character. Pretty.
Sea salt and malt vinegar. I have a Gorilla Pod for you.
Also, I hate you. I'm stealing this. Alright, so we got a Gorilla Pod, which is a thing that I do use from time to time. I'm basically going to go through all of my gear that I use on a somewhat regular basis. I guess to start off here, I'll show you what I've had a few questions kind of about what I actually use to do these videos. And what I'm using here is a Nikon 5500, that Rode mic, tripod. But it's more than good enough. It's what I film my entire travel show on. And I use the kit lens, the 18-55, because it has VR. I have been thinking about going to Sony just for the travel show, mostly because of the 5-axis stabilization built into the camera body. But that is not a thing that I'm going to do yet, but we'll see. So, typical wedding day. If I'm doing both photo and video, I do rely a little bit on my VR lenses. So this Nikon 7200 is what I use most often in those circumstances. If I'm not shooting video, usually what I use is this here 85 1.4. This is my favorite lens if I don't have to shoot video, basically. And I will shoot this all day pretty much. I know that you're supposed to get like wide shots and that type of thing, but typically what I will do, what's going on, Penelope? Typically what I will do is my second will have 24-70 or something wide, and they'll do all of the wide shots, and I will just shoot an 85 all day. I like it. If not, this is a little bit heavier. It's kind of why I don't love to use it. Also, it stands out a little more, so the smaller I can... I'm not really sure what's up with the cat right now, but she's got some things to be doing. I also can't speak correctly, so I apologize about that. Oh, she's after a Starburst wrapper. Beautiful. All right, so back to gear. We use Nikon. Lindsay uses a D810. We used to use 800s. I use a D750. This lens on it here is a Sigma Art 1.4. I really like that. The runner up to that 1.4 is this Nikon 28 2.8. And it's mostly just comes down to how much I feel like carrying around, because the Sigma is pretty huge. It lets in more light. It's 1.4. But this 28 is very small. So if I'm not going anywhere that's a complete dungeon, usually I will use just this one here. And my typical setup, if I'm shooting just photos for the day, will be this guy here, the 85 1.4, 28 on one body, and that's all I'll bring. I'll have obviously backups in the car, but that is what I will shoot 99% of my photos with, and then my second will kind of fill in holes where needed. Another thing that I do use quite often, not so much for weddings anymore, but this is a 45mm tilt shift. I love this lens. It is incredible. Like, the colors that come out of it, I'm not sure how they exist sometimes. I don't typically use it as a tilt shift anymore. I don't do the really weird distorted edges, because I feel like that kind of looks a little bit like it was shot 5 years ago. You can still do it correctly. Jeff Newsom does an amazing job. He is my favorite tilt shift guy, but beyond that, I see it used kind of incorrectly a lot, and it started to kind of feel, I don't know, it's not something that I really wanted to be part of. This here is a Nikon 50mm 1.2. I use this for video shoots usually. It is a 1.2, Nikon does make one. It's manual focus only, so I use it for video, but it's pretty good. And those are the only lenses that I ever use. Lindsay uses a 24-70 a little bit, but our issue with it is that it's really heavy, and the new one is even heavier, and also it tends to back focus a little bit more than it probably should. So I prefer this little guy here. Like this is nice. This is a good sized kit. Like you can walk into a room and you can look professional, and I don't know, you're not gonna look like this guy, which I don't necessarily love doing. For flashes, all I use is these Nikon SB700s. Obviously, if you're shooting Canon, there's a Canon option for that, but these do everything that I need them to. All of mine are broken because they fall off flash stands from time to time. I use Pocket Wizard 3s. I think Lindsay uses the Pocket Wizard X or X's, which are basically the exact same thing. Hers, you have like an on-off button and 10 channels. Mine has a few more customizable things that for your off-camera flash, I can set up like 4 flashes around and have one on each channel and just kind of pop from back and forth to each of them. If I want that one in that corner on or that corner on, I can hit all the buttons and do that type of thing. I don't use it a whole lot, to be honest. I usually just use one single flash on a stick. For capturing audio whenever we're doing video, I use these Sennheiser wireless packs. I like them a lot. I believe they're illegal in Canada now. Canada and the States, because they transmit on a frequency that somebody bought. And when that happens, I guess they become illegal. So I got them really cheap. I won't tell you from who, because they weren't supposed to sell them to me. And then if I ever need audio straight from the board, I use this little Zoom H4n. It has the plugs in the bottom here, so if I need to plug right in from a mic or from the board. It also has mics if I just want to capture room audio and sync it later. I use a program called Pluralize to sync everything in post after. Makes things super easy. It syncs all in waveform, so as long as you have good audio coming from each of your cameras, it'll just put it together into one. It's Penelope in her litter box. She's doing everything she can today to make this a struggle. Thanks, Penelope. And then for my vlogs and some other videos, I use this little GoPro here. It's a 4, it has a screen on the back. Love the screen on the back. It also does like little 4K time lapses, which is nice. And this GorillaPod. And other than that, I don't use anything else. Yeah, kind of boring. I thought there'd be more to it, but yeah, really 4 lenses. I have a couple of these SB700s as backups. And then I have my kit lens kind of as a backup wide. And then I just have a second photographer that has all of my other backup stuff. So if I need a 35 or something like that, they'll be carrying it because quite honestly, I'm pretty lazy, and the lighter my bag can be, the better. So that's how I do. So hopefully that answered some questions. Again, I'm Nikon. If you are shooting Canon, there are similar things to all of these. I should have mentioned this is a Nikon D600. There's also a 610. I use this. The video that comes off it isn't very good. I don't recommend you buy one of these. But for now, it's just kind of my backup. And until I get something better or decide if maybe I'm going to be doing video with Sony, I'll stay with that. So thanks so much for watching. Sorry for the interruption here. I hope he's enjoying his Prosecco back in the hallway there. And I hope that Penelope is having a great time in her litter box. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the group. Maybe leave a question below if there's any questions on any of this gear, and I will get back to you in a text format because it is easier for me to type at this moment rather than speak due to the wisdom teeth. Wisdom teething.